ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। So, we have been discussing the third chapter, and third chapter begins with a question of Arjuna. So he asks, if in your opinion knowledge is superior than karma, that is, that knowledge is to give the goods, that is, I want moksha, and knowledge is the direct means to moksha. That knowledge is the direct means to moksha. That I don't understand then why you are engaging me in karma. That too terrible karma. Ghora karmani niyojayasi. Okay, Shava. So we saw all that implications of this question. He says, Vyamishreneva vakyena buddhim moyasiva me tadekam vada nischitya yena shreyoham apnuyam. तो व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसि इव. तो as if you are saying कि you are saying something and also confusing me that knowledge is superior, but you do action. This kind of a confusion, as though you are creating, and therefore I am getting deluded by that. Therefore, you please tell me very clearly what is it that I need to do so that I should be getting the ultimate, that I should be seeking that ultimate end, and therefore for that what is good. In my understanding, after listening to you, or the Sankhya, the whole Buddhi, what you unfolded in the second chapter, I was told that it is the Sankhya Buddhi, the knowledge, which is going to give the moksha. Yet you tell me, yoga kuru karmani, yogastha kuru karmani. Abiding in the yoga, you do karma, karmani kuru. Why is it that? And therefore, please tell me very clearly what is going to give moksha. From here, then Bhagavan does not answer the question directly. What does Bhagavan say? He is talking about the two lifestyles. Because he understood, Arjuna has not understood what is knowledge and what is karma yoga. So he is asking what is knowledge and karma yoga is not clear to him. So he says, Asmin loke dvividha nishtha pura prokta. So there are twofold committed lifestyles which have been given in the Vedas. Pura means here the Vedas, Ishavasya Upanishad is referring to. In the beginning itself, two committed lifestyles have been given. What are the two committed lifestyles? Jnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yoginam. So, for the Sankhyas, for the sannyasis, for the Jnana, that is Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means predominantly Shravana Manana Dhyasana. That is Jnana Yoga. That is a life of sannyasa. That is, you give up most of the roles and you take up to sannyasa, and therefore Sankhya Nam stands for sannyasi Nam. Right? And therefore Jnana Yoga is predominantly one is told to do Shravana Manana Dhyasana. And in Karma Yogena Yogina, what was said? Karma yogena yoginam karminam. By karminam, for the householders, for the grahasthis, for who are doing so many roles, so many identities, with so many roles they have. Therefore, predominantly they have to do karma, yoga. Karma with an attitude of yoga. That is karma yoga. That karma with an attitude of yoga is to be explained that yoga buddhi. So Sankhya buddhi and yoga buddhi. So Sankhya buddhi is the thing which is to be gained. And Jnana yoga is predominant mainly Shravana Nidhyasana. So therefore he gives two lifestyles. One is of karma tyaga and one is of karma anusthana. And according to therefore, it is not upon you can choose one of them, it is upon your qualification of the mind that you are ready for which path. That is what he says. And then he goes on to say, Na karmana manarambhat, naishkarmyam purushoshnute, na cha sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhi. So it is not that when you to gain the knowledge, to gain this actionlessness. Actionlessness is the form of word for the knowledge. That knowledge is to be gained. Actionlessness means really the knowledge. And therefore, actionless, you don't become actionless by giving up action, not beginning the action. Not beginning the action by not starting any action, by not doing any karma. Vedic, it is Vedic, Shrauta karma or Smartha karma or Laukika karma. Any kind of karma, you say, I will not even begin because if I do karma, then karma phala will come. Then I'll become, karma phala will be sukha or dukha. Or if I do good karma, then it will be punya. If I do bad karma, it will be papa. So why to even begin? So I don't even begin start. That is the point here. I don't even start. What will be the problem? That is what he says. And therefore, it is not that by not starting the karma, you will get actionlessness. Then next line he says, Nacha sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhigacchati. So what was said in the previous line, Naish Karmyam, next line it says a siddhi, the liberation, moksha, the knowledge. Siddhi is in the form of knowledge. And that, what he says, Nacha sanyasanadeva, Nacha sanyasanat, and not by mere renunciation, that you renounce everything, tyaga, karma tyaga, and then you will be able to gain the siddhi. Just by mere renunciation, you don't gain siddhi. Everything you give up. That is not the way that we saw elaborately. And also, how can you give up action? Nahi kacche shanamapi jatu jishtatya karma krit. Karyate hevashak karma sarva prakriti jai gunaihi. So everything is to be prakriti jaihi gunaihi. By the gunas, everybody is forced, so to say, avashak karma karyate sarva prakriti. And prakriti, born of prakriti, the gunas, they will, sattva rajas tamas, they will make you do the actions. And therefore, it is not possible to remain actionless even for a moment. Even if you are batting the eyelid, that is an action. You are breathing, all that is, everything what you are doing is action only. Karmendriyani sanyamya aste manasasmaran indriyarthan vimudatma mityacharasya uchyate. The one who is really restraining one's own karmendriyas, organs of actions, and then outside controlling, restraining, but inside manasasmaran, he's all the time thinking of the sense objects, indriyarthan, manasasmaran, indriyarthan, the sense objects, outwardly, sense organs are restrained, but the mind is thinking all the time of the sense objects. I want to enjoy this, I want to enjoy that. But ideally, I don't have to because I have to become actionless. And that kind of a person who is putting up a show, and that is kind of a mithyachara. He is having a false conduct. And then one who is really mastering one's own sense organs and organs of action, niyamya, manasa, aravate. And then he is leading a life of karma yoga by restraining the karma, organs of action, karmendriya, karma yogam, asakta san. He is unattached to all the sense objects. That person is really superior. He excels. He savishishyate. Then last class we saw 8, 9, 10. So 8 was said. So therefore, even if you say you have to do everyday karma, niyatam karma, what is to be done must be done. So nitya naimittika karmas are to be done. And then karma is definitely better. Karma jaya akarmana, from inaction. And even for going with this body, mind, sense complex, this Sharira Yatra, you have to eat, you have to do all your things, you have to gain energy, all that require activity. And for that activity, inactivity is not desired. Na prasiddhyed akarmana. Then it was the best verse was, if the Gita, third chapter is Yagyarthat karmanomyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. So therefore, how you have to do when it karma so that it will become a yoga? So Gita gives a word yagyarthat, and whatever karma done for the sake of yagya, for the sake of yagya, when you do karma, that will, other than that, will be karma bandhana. Yagyarthat. So other than karmana, other than karmana anyatra, yagyarthat karmana anyatra. So karma which is other than yagya is a reason for karma bandhan. Therefore, tadartham karma kaunteya. Tadartham means for his sake, for the Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, for that, for यज्ञ के लिए, ईश्वर के लिए, विष्णु के लिए, यज्ञ के लिए. यज्ञ क्या है यहाँ पे? That is the Ishvara. For the sake of Ishvara, in the sense of for dharma, you have to do karma. And how you have to do? Mukta Sangha. Be free from all the attachments. Attachment to the karma, attachment to the karma phala. Ragadvesha, devoid of ragadvesha, only with dharma, keeping in mind that this must be done. So this verse, who is going to explain? This is the main verse of the last class. Sharda, you start.
This verse is basically continuing from what we were doing in the previous few verses, because we're talking about how Naishkarmya, or the actionlessness, does not mean non-performance of action. It basically means getting removed from the concept of doership. So how does that happen? Because if you have to keep doing your karma, how do you detach yourself from doership? There seems to be a contradiction there. So what he says is, what Bhagwan says is, he's giving us basically a mantra here on how to perform your karmas, keep doing your action, and yet be in that state of naishkarmya, or actionlessness. So what he says is, if a person doesn't do his karma like a yajna, so you have to think of your karma, everything you do, right from your breathing to every other action that you perform in this world. If you take it as a yajna, which is basically an offering to Ishvara, that is the literal meaning of the word yajna. So if you take it as something like what we all commonly know yajna to be, a sacrificial ritual where there's a giver, there's an offering, then there's an altar where your offering is made, and then there's a recipient. If you accept that all these are Bhagwan or Brahman, then you realize that you are just performing the karmas without really uh, um, with the idea with the attitude of karma yoga. So appreciation of Ishvara or becoming a bhakta, where you understand that everything in this world is basically the order of Ishvara, and whatever happens, whatever I perform, whatever I do, everything from the child I'm raising to the food I'm eating to the air I'm breathing, everything is Bhagavan, and it is ordained and it is controlled, and it is, there's nothing, it's everything is Ishvara. And of course, this bhakti or this concept of doing everything with this kind of an attitude is something that is common to both the sannyasa marg as well as the karma yogi. So bhakti cannot be isolated. So that whole idea of that there's a separate marga of bhakti is not correct. Bhakti, like we were talking yesterday in the last classes, bhakti is a part of both. Bhakti is like an intrinsic part of your attitude in karma yoga. So if you have bhakti only, can you be both, either a sannyasi, whichever lifestyle you choose, bhakti has to be there. So this acceptance of Ishvara and his order as everything, and performing every duty as an offering to Ishvara is what is required. So of course, Swamiji also says that there is an ecology of divine forces, or that, like an order. The word ecology is used very regularly in today's parlance, but there is an ecology of dharma which is in the world. And we are all, every human being is a conscious being with a free will. So when there is freedom, we have to also realize freedom comes with the responsibility of adhering to that order. So any action that tries to disturb that order is considered to be adharma or disorder. So we have to conduct all our activities as if we are part of and sustaining this very ecology that of dharma, that is Ishvara's order. So Ishvara himself is dharma. We have to accept that Ishvara, dharma are both the same. And both punya and papa, these are the two concepts which drive us and make us keep getting attached to every action we do. Both of them are, in a sense, shackles, or they are chains. Punya, of course, is a golden shackle because you keep getting, that you're not able to detach yourself from your karma. You're never able to get rid of your ego as long as you continue to perform action for result and continue to uh, consider yourself as the doer and yourself as the reason for achieving a good result. You will never be able to get out of that golden shackle. So that keeps you in that kind of a mithya world where you assume that you are performing action, and because of that action a particular result has come to you, and that action was done by you. And similarly, of course, papa is again an iron shackle, because there you do something wrong and you also have to pay the price for it. So all in all, your first and your only primary role in this world is that of a devotee. And you've got to have, how do you become that? You've also got to be a devotee with the word that's used in this verse is mukta sangha. So mukta sangha means you have to be free from attachment towards both. One, of course, karma phala, which is the results of action, and the second is towards your role itself, whatever role you are performing, whether it's a role of a student, a role of a mother, a role of a father, whatever that role be, you detach. Should never have attachment towards any of those roles. All of that is performed with Ishvara Bhakti.
That is a very important point. How you can be detached, playing the role. So you have to understand in this that you have to become a devotee. The main identity, your primary identity is often devotee. That is the understanding, is a very essential understanding of Karma Yoga. Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, for the sake of Ishvara, for the sake of Yajna. How you have to do all that for the sake of Ishvara? For the sake of Ishvara, means for the sake of Dharma. How is Dharma identified? What is Dharma? So what are my roles? So in and through all the roles, what is the primary role? What is the primary identity? What is the primary identity? Can the wave be without the ocean? Always this you remember that way. That wave is connected to the ocean first. No? Then only to other waves. So my wave cannot be without the ocean. So Jiva cannot be without the Ishvara. So therefore, first and foremost, identity of Jiva is with Ishvara. And therefore, one has to, so because that role must becomes the primary role. And therefore, that identity, myself as a devotee, becomes the primary identity. Then all other identities are secondary. But the secondary are also important. So all the other, so I have to be in touch with all the other waves. But those waves are also nothing a part of Ishvara only. So in a way, one is a direct way of connection to Ishvara. One is an indirect way of connection to Ishvara. That is what direct yajna and indirect yajna is given. So direct yajna is once you consciously, as a devotee, you are doing prayer, japa, meditation. So as a main, that is your main identity, and therefore you have to prioritize that, your japa, meditation, etc. But at the same time, you have other roles to play. What are the other roles? You can Ishvarize all the roles. How to Ishvarize all the roles? So, child, if given to you, it is from Ishvara. So, whatever your role is towards, so like Bharata did, kingdom was given to him. So, he anointed the Padukas on the Simhasana. And then he said, everything I am doing direct seva to Bhagwan Ram. He is my Ishvara, I am the Dasa. And then whenever I get time, I serve the subject, the Praja. And Praja is also a part of Raja. Raja ki Praja. And therefore I am serving them through Narayan Seva, Nar Seva, I am doing Narayan Seva. That indirect yajna. So every role you make it seva, service to the Lord. Because that is, you are doing serving the Lord himself indirectly. So therefore, direct yajna, indirect yajna. That is the secret of Karma Yoga. All the roles you have to Ishwarize. Yes, Raji, what is the ecology? Sharda used the word ecology. What is ecology?
Swamiji, we must go to the understanding of the creation first to understand what is the ecology. We know that Ishvara is both the Nimit Karana and the Vadana Karana. So the intelligent cause.
Nimitta Karana is efficient cause. The knowledge and skill is lying with the conscious being. And with that knowledge and skill, Bhagwan has all the tools of creating. And he is a creator. And he has the knowledge and skill. And therefore, he is an efficient cause of the universe. And because of that is why it is called intelligent cause or efficient cause, or in Sanskrit it is called as Nimitta Karana. Okay.
And he is also the material cause or Vadana Karana.
And
So
that
if you
material cause is upadana, material with which this efficient, intelligent cause, the creator, needs a material. So what is the material? Material is also himself. If material is other than himself, then there's a problem. So therefore, efficient cause is called Nimitta Karana, and material cause is called in Sanskrit as Upadana Karana. Right.
So this is what it means when he said Khalik, Khalak, Khalak, Ma Khalik. Khalik is Ishwar, Khalak is the creation. So creation, the creator is in the creation only. So no part of creation is without Ishvara. Everything that you see is Ishvara only. And when you see the part of it, then it's called as the Devta. And when you see the whole of it, it's called as Ishvara. So part and whole, they are the same only. So everything is Ishvara only. Devta is Ishvara, and Ishvara, because if you see the intelligent cause, then everything else is Ishvara only. And all the components of this creation, they work in some kind of a unison or ecology. Ecology, which is basically defined as, in biology, it's defined as the relationship of a living organism with the self and everything surrounding it. So here the ecology will mean the behavior of a jiva with respect to the other jivas and in whole of this Prakriti with the Ishvara. So relationship with Jivas and and with the Ishvara. This is what ecology means. So all the Devtas are deities in this creation. They have their roles to play, and they follow a order like day and a night. And this order has to be understood that whatever the laws of creation are there, they are physical and chemical laws of this world. So everything is Ishvara only, and you have to understand that through and through everything is Ishvara only, and you are also a part of that order only. And this order has to be maintained. If you have to maintain that order, because this order is dharma, and if you align with this order, then you are following, considering Ishvara as both intelligent and the material cause of it. If you go against it, because it works in a very beautiful, subtle way, and this is just a understanding. This is basically being sensitive to the way the creation works. I'll just give few examples, because the whole world thinks that economy is more important than ecology. So if we do burn a lot of coal, and as we have been doing, and keep emitting the gases, carbon dioxide and other gases, it will lead to loss of the ozone layer. And when there's a break in ozone, the temperature in on the earth increases. And when the temperature increases, the glaciers start melting and the water level will rise. So this is a way that we interfere with the ecology. That is what is called as dharma. If you interfere with the ecology, that's called dharma. Similarly, there's another beautiful example. In China, Mao thought that the sparrows are not needed because they destroy crops. So they killed all the sparrows. When they killed all the sparrows, there were too many ants and other insects, and China had to suffer a very severe this loss of crops and starvation. So these are the subtle ways, because we don't understand the complete cycle. We don't understand how subtly and beautifully it works. If we disturb one of the system, we'll destroy the whole of the system. It's like throwing a pebble in a pond. When the It's a very small act. It's a very, very, very small act, but the ripples that arise, they reach all the side to the corner. Similarly, small a small pebble on a glacier can create an avalanche. This is the example of how the whole system can be disturbed by very small action. As it's when a insect flips its wings, you can see the ripples in the when a insect flips its wing in the Amazon, there'll be a typhoon in US. This is how the whole world is connected. When you follow and respect this order, you are following dharma. And you disturb this fact, this ecology, then you are following adharma. So you can consider the parts of it as a devta, or consider the whole of it as the Ishvara. That creates a sensitivity towards the sadhaka, towards the Ishvara. This is what is devotion is. The devotion is understanding this ecology and adhering to this ecology, or maintaining this ecology under all costs. And this ecology is dharma, because dharma is the law which maintains this ecology. So if you are following dharma, then you are a devotee. You are doing this yajna for Ishvara. And if you are willfully not obeying to this order, then you are doing adharma, because you are disturbing the functioning of all the devas that have created this system. So this is what is called as ecology. And
Yeah.
ecology is important to keep this world running. We must not do anything which is against ecology. And a karma yogi is one who does not disturb this ecology by following the dharma.
So, yes, Riya, next verse, 10th verse, what was it? Sahayagya praja sishtva purovacha prajapatihi. Anena prasavishyadvam esha vostrishta kamaduk. Last class.
Hmm. So herein Krishna ji says that like when I created humans, I also created yagnas. And these yagnas are basically to help human beings grow. For example, humans are created because of yagnas. We marry someone because we want to perform certain rituals. And these yagnas, how marriage helps one grow is, let's say, before marriage, we have a limited I. It's all limited to I. But when we get married, it expands and becomes to us. It keeps on expanding. It becomes 2 and 3. So this is how one grows after performing the yagna, specifically, let's say marriage. So Herin says that all these yagnas are there to grow, and one should, like metaphorically, it's symbolizing it as also like a kamadhenuka, which is like fulfilling all your wishes. So basically, kamadhenuka here means knowledge. That through this knowledge of Brahman, that you are everything, and you are not that lacking self, and you are unlimited. Through this knowledge, you realize that you are everything, and anything and everything that you need is all within you. So this is how it metaphorically symbolizes to Kamadhenuka, like a
Also, that last class we saw, Rajiv made a point that both Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra, that Brahma Vidya itself also cow represents, and also the means of gaining that Vidya, the karma, kind of karma, whatever is Brahma karma samadhina, everything is Brahman.
Brahman.
And then even the karma, the yoga, everything is Ishwarized, that everything is Ishvara. So both the things, through that, once you have that understanding, you will be able to grow. Anena prasavishyadvam esha vostushta kamaduk. Right? So what else? Anybody wants to say anything upon these 3 verses of the last class? Gautam ji? You are mute.
Swamiji, this yajna is that just what I have read, I could understand. Yajna is the direct karma which is done for the propitiation of the god, means to satisfy the god. And karma is the indirect yajna done in recognition of the god, Ishwar. Means in both the way that Ishwar is recognized, Ishwar is accepted, without this Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga is not possible at all. So bhakti, one has to be a bhakta in both the cases, whether he is a sannyasi or he is a Karma Yogi. And so far as cosmic order or cosmic forces or universal order, what we are talking here, definitely whatever any action we are doing, there will be a disturbances. And so that disturbances is there, so we have to give the thanks to the god, or to enable us to create a little bit disturbance, so that we can earn or we can get the enough food. But if we are destroying entirely the ecology system or this cosmic order, then definitely some natural calamity is bound to happen.
Okay. Vandana. Last class. Anything you want to say?
The most yagna means giving and taking. So whatever action, whatever karma that we do should be done with the thought in the mind that whatever we are taking, we are from the nature, we are giving all the karma that we are doing is for thanks towards expressing our thanks towards it. It's like
Gratitude.
and that, yeah, gratitude. And that can happen only when we are doing this karma without any expecting any kind of result from any kind of phala, any kind of result from it. It should be done because it has to be done. It is the proper thing to do. And when we talk about when we're talking about Gyanendriya and Kamendriya, so if Karmendriya, so As long as we are doing it with our karma indriyas, we are not getting involved with the vishyas around us. It is the proper action to be done, and as long as they are performing their action, just like our eyes are seeing, our ears are hearing, they
Vishyas
are
will
not.
be involved, Vandana.
Pardon me,
Sense
sir.
objects and sense organs will be engaged to each other.
But then again, I'm not deciding that this sound is good or this flower is good or this scene is good. As long as my likes and dislikes are not involved with that action, then only it becomes a
Yajna.
yagya.
So
So
it
most
is dharma, according to dharma, when it is done, then it is okay. Unattached, mukta sangha. That what mukta is.
Mukta Sangha. So, yeah, so that is the most important thing to be, one should be alert about while doing any action, any karma, that how, what is the reason I'm doing this action? If it's right, if it's as per the dharma, or is just to fulfill my some like or dislike. And
one
any
can still.
action done with this in mind, likes and dislikes, will lead to karma bandhan, and of course to the circle of life, or will be forever in this sansar,
So
the circle of
one
birth and
point
rebirth.
clarification I want that whatever you are saying is right, but still likes and dislikes, we don't say you should not fulfill.
Yeah.
Listen now, please.
Hmm.
I'll just speak, huh?
Hmm.
Allow me to speak, right, Vandana? So
Okay.
likes and dislikes, what I'm trying to make a point other than what you have made. You are right, whatever you have said. But I'm making some further point that Sakama karma and Nishkama karma, these two terms come in the scriptures. So people get confused. Okay, every time you are talking about not fulfilling likes and dislikes, yes. But Sakama karma will lead you to Bandhan only. Nishkam karma will make you grow out of that karma bandhan. That is what she is trying to say. So I am just restating what he's saying, but still that does not mean Sakam karma. For your maturity, you have to do even Sakama karma first to grow out of that. No? And then once you grow out of that, then you will be able to do Nishkama karma also. Because for to do Nishkama karma, you have to become very mature. If you are still a child and not an adult, you will keep hanging to your chocolates and your toys. And your in adult also life, also your chocolate and toys only take some different form. That's all. So that's all we discussed in the last class. And therefore, Sakam and Nishkam is the terms, two terms which vary. Nishkama it will happen only when you stick to dharma. That is what it is said in these verses. And anything more you want to add, Vandana?
No, Swamiji.
So now we go to today's verses. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreya paramavapsyatha. So therefore, propitiating and acknowledging the cosmic forces as devatas gives the highest good. So what Bhagavan says now, how you have to be sensitive to the ecology. And in that ecology, whatever is the Srishti that is presented, whether the space, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. So they are not just mere inert things or Surya Devata or Chandra Devata. They are devas. They are cosmic forces, and that you have to recognize as devatas. And that devatas acknowledging and propitiating these cosmic forces as devatas, and then you are propitiating them, that will give you the highest good, ultimate good. Because, and this is how he says, Anena Devyan bhavayata. Please, with this yagya, anena by with this yagya, may you all grow. By how will you grow? In this verse, Krishna told Arjuna how to grow. May those deities propitiate you. Because you propitiate the deities and they will propitiate you. That is how you will grow. So that is anena devya devan bhavayata, means propitiate these devas. These devas by the yagya. Anena here means for yagyena. And te devaha vaha bhavayantu. And then those devas, deities will propitiate in turn you. It is, give and take, what Vandana was saying. So give and take is in this verse given very clearly. What is this give and take? So parasparam bhavayantaha. You propitiate each other. They propitiate, you propitiate. Even if you don't propitiate, they will propitiate you. They have to do the job. Air has to blow. But you have to recognize that as a devta and you are breathing. Sun has to have the light, and in that light you see the whole world. Ears, through the dik, in the dik you are hearing the sound. Everything is doing their work. But your recognition and then acknowledging those devatas, those cosmic forces, and then propitiating, all that will give you highest good. Because this is, how will that give you highest good? That he will say later. Because once you recognize, means it is your very recognition and propitiation will give you that understanding of the whole creation, the whole cosmos, the whole Ishvara working through those forces. Ishvara manifesting as those forces. And when you are in tune with that recognition, with that Ishvara, that will give you the highest good. That is what the recognition of Ishvara is. So that is what ecologically dharma, once you do everything, if you don't propitiate them, if you don't acknowledge them, then you are just taking for yourself. And you are just eating for yourself, and then you are not sharing back because you are taking, not recognizing, not giving. So you are not propitiating means not even the gratitude is there, not even any recognition is there, not acknowledging is there, and therefore it is later on he is going to term it as what kind of those people are. So this itself means something. So I heard one story. There was a party in the heavens, and all the devas and asuras were invited. And for the party, this was all gala party, the huge party. And what was done? The person, the creator, Brahmaji, what he did? They said that hold these elbows, they were tied with a stick. You cannot bend the elbows. That was the rule. And you cannot bend means it was tied with a stick. And you don't have to bend the elbows. And then the tables were full of all the dishes, all the food, best of foods in Swarga. And then you have to eat. Now, how will you eat? You cannot bend. How will you eat? You cannot enjoy the party. So Asuras were struggling. But Devas, what did they do? They took food from this thing and they gave to the other Deva. That story you must have heard. It is a very popular story. Most of the teachers have used this story. And that is what we have to do. And that is why to share our bounties with each other. Not for ourselves. Everything is given, but you are not acknowledging what is being given. Right? So this is the understanding. Anybody wants to speak on this? Yes, Sharda, you wanted to say something.
Only this Deva story in the thing, because that is mentioned in the book also.
Acha, it is mentioned. Okay.
Yes, there's two lines are there somewhere.
Hmm.
So basically, here, yes, if you consider every blessing that you have, so look at the sun, look at water, look at rain, look at the earth, all of this as devas or devatas, and you treat them with that degree of respect and love, then you also will immediately get nourished and propitiated, and there is how you will, you grow in your spiritual growth in your journey, and you finally reach that ultimate end. So like when we do our surya namaskar, we are always looking at the sun as a god. We're not just looking at it as this ball of fire. Similarly, when when you wake up and you put your feet on the ground and you say samudre vasadeti, whatever that the mantra or whatever you say, or when you bathe you have ganga kaveri, there's a prayer. So whatever you do, if you kind of think of every element that
What mantra
Ishvara,
it is? Gange chayamane chaiva
that is
Godavari
one.
Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhin Kuru. What does it mean? So Jalesmin, Asmin Bakete, Bakat, Asmin Jale. Swamiji used to say that. He used to joke around. Asmin Bakete, in this
But
bucket, in Asmin Jale. He is invoking in that water all the nadis.
that's so beautiful. Bucket maybe
Uh,
you're
That's
remembering all the
he
nadis.
used to say, he used to do every
This is
day.
why we worship the Ganga and we have the Ganga Stotram, which is such a
No, what
beautiful
the
thing.
point is, Gange Chayamune Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri. This so many rivers you are thinking of, and with that mantra, you invoke all the rivers in a water, and with
Yes.
that you have snanam. It's a different attitude altogether, just by this propitiating.
Mm.
It's by just invoking.
So all our daily mantras that we say are basically kind of covering all this. Or even when you are eating your food and you say your Brahmarpana mantra. So like that, there are several mantras which keep you propitiating all the elements that are around you and nourishing you. So it's like an ecology where it's an interdependency. So, like the elbows being tied and where you're feeding each other, we are also feeding each other. We are feeding the devas by propitiating them. They are feeding us by, in return, giving us spiritual energy and the ability to, grow in our spiritual path. So, there is a mutual
Give and take.
paraspara give and take that's happening.
Anybody else?
Swamiji, it's a harmony in motion, Swamiji. And that harmony is not between the Jiva and the Devta, but also between the Jivas also. Because in a society, when you keep taking everything, the society will break down. You have to give in return also. So propitiating that works with the Jivas also. Because ecology involves not only my relationship with Ishvara, that is primary, but the surroundings also, which involves other Jivas. So the harmony
Other
has to be at
jivas.
both levels.
So that at both levels, 5 yagyas you have to perform. I have already told you, Manushya yagya, Deva yagya, Bhuta yagya, Pitra yagya, Rishi yagya. So these are the 5 yagyas any grahastha has to perform. These are the 5 pancha yagyas a grahastha has to perform. Manushya yagya means you have to share. Yagya means you have to give, and when you are taking. So when you are having a kitchen in your household, then from the very same kitchen, when you are raiding the food, that food has to be shared with anybody outside your house, somebody who is hungry. Not only needed, somebody who needs, who's in hunger and he needs that Manushya Yagya. Bhoot Yagya, cow hai, kaua hai, kutta hai, uski roti. All that. Annam to the bhuta, cheeti hai. All that you have to share every day. I used to remember my mother used to keep a roti for the cow all the time. Everybody nowadays also, once you, and then when you are eating the food, you will do Brahmarpanam, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivate Nigantavim, Brahma Karma Samadhina. At that time itself, you will keep out something from your food for devatas, for pitras, you know. And also with that, you do pranayasva, panayasva, also that also. All the rituals are there because that food has to be shared with the devas. When the food have to be shared with the manushya, with that food also has to be shared with bhutas, all the beings around. That pitras, the ancestors who have parted away, you have to remember them. And the rishis, from who are giving you the teachers, the rishis, the knowledge. All the knowledge who are giving the rishis, the acharyas, the teachers, any gurus, any acharya, whether it is yoga acharya, Vedanta acharya, shiksha acharya, your maths teacher, your this teacher, your that teacher, any teacher, you have to respect. And that is why Rishi Yagya. Rishi means from where the knowledge is coming. So that means the whole ecological balance is there. Ancestors who have departed, Manushas who have not, who are still here but who need something. Bhutas, all the animal world, in all that you have taken into count. Devas, all the elemental forces, all the cosmic forces. Deva Yagya, Bhuta Yagya, Pitra Yagya, Manushya Yagya, and Rishi Yagya. These 5 yagyas, pancha yagyas, constitute the very important aspect of your propitiation, acknowledgement, both total. Yes, what else?
Swamiji, it's basically honoring the interdependence between Sarvabhutas as well as with Devas or the Ishvara. This is basically I propitiate you, you propitiate me. You know, propitiating is basically doing some act to gain favor of someone, good act to gain favor of something. So we keep gaining favor from each other, that is, and this becomes a basis of Ishwararpana Buddhi, and this Ishwararpana Buddhi will become a basis for Prasada Buddhi. Both are completely interrelated. And this, unless you know this masti, Ishwara Arpan Buddhi is just not possible. By saying that you should have gratitude means nothing unless you understand the cosmic forces and the way they act and the interaction of the Sarabhutas within this cosmos. So both have to be understood, and this relationship should be clearly delineated. That is what makes karma a karma yoga. This sensitivity or devotion of a mumukshu make turn this into a karma yoga, and this is also the basis for vyavasayatmika buddhi also.
Yeah, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, because once you are sensitive about Ishvara and in the form of all these manifestations, then definitely the purpose, clarity of purpose also is to recognize Ishvara ultimately, and that will grow and that will come to fore.
Swamiji,
Anything else?
Swamiji, whether this yagya we are talking, that is only in relation to fire rituals like Dev Yagya or Rishi Yagya.
Are
Suppose
you, no, it is not only this thing. Are you really studying Gita on study properly? Everything is given that yajna is a metaphorical word used.
yes,
The is said very clearly there that
yeah,
the Vedic word Bhagavan has used because again there is so many elements of the yajna.
indeed.
And all those elements are there even in everything, in the Ishvara Arpana Buddhi also and all those things. So therefore, metaphor is there. In the fire ritual also and in the food eating also there's a ritual. Everything is a ritual.
Yeah.
And therefore you have to see that also.
What confusion I got, because Dev Rin it's okay. That unknown forces are there, that the fire ritual appears to be okay. But Rishi is known, means knowledge we are gaining from the Guru. He is a known person. So means why the fire ritual for the
That is why fire ritual, in that also Guru is also there, na? Deva Gurus are there, na? See, Rishi and Devas, even in the fire ritual, Rishis are also, Sapta Rishis are also given.
okay.
Sapta Rishis are also, oblation is given, na?
जी, जी.
But I
Ishtar,
think here the yag, what Swamiji is talking about is what we like every day when you cook, you take out one roti for the cow, one for the dog. That is the kind of this. There's no fire ritual involved. It's what we are doing, what we are cooking in the house, whatever is done in cooked in our kitchen, and we are sharing all that. And why we are sharing? Because okay, if we take for example wheat, it's not just because we sow the seed and we get the wheat. It's because the sun was there, because the rain was there, and all the conditions were conducive. So to give thanks to that, that's why we do this all this yagna. So again, when we are cooking, it's not only for ourselves only. Just as the sun is shining for everyone, for everything, it's not distinguishing this is good, this is bad. So in the same way, we also offer our food to anyone who is hungry. And if you remember, like we have this tradition of giving food to Atithi. First we offer our food to the Atithi, whoever has come, and only then we partake of food. And same goes for everything, for yagya, for dev yagya or pitri yagya or rishi yagya. What you're talking about rin is something else. Those are three rins which we have to do. This is yag, panch yag, because whenever we are doing another thing, when we are cooking, we do lot of as Swamiji say, hinsas. Like when we are cutting vegetable, we are killing plant or some other jivas which are there, some microbes, some viruses, some insects and everything. They are all there. We kill them while doing our everyday activity. To atone that sin that we have committed, the path that we have committed, we do all these yags. So there is no fire ritual involved. It's just that whatever we take, we are giving it back, and by sharing, that is what. Maybe Swamiji can explain much better.
the fire ritual is metaphorical. He used of yajna is a Vedic ritual. Through that, he is showing yajna is Ishvara. And for that, give and take is both ways. And therefore, through that ritual, you are showing how that yajna is propitiated. Through that propitiation of the devas, through the yajna you do, and therefore you can do the same in the manifested world also. As Rajiv said, that all the jivas also have to be taken into account, all the teachers. So therefore, everything is included. So now he goes on to say, Ishtan Bhogan hi vo devaha दास्यन्ते यज्ञ भाविताः तैर्दत्तान प्रदायेभ्यः यो भुङ्क्ते स्तेन एव सः. So now Krishna says, कि all the gods, yajna bhavitaha, propitiated by the yajna, huh? And with their desirable objects, when you are giving them, vaha, to you, dasyante, he will give all your desirable objects, they will give you. And he therefore, tai dattan, whatever he is given by them now, it is given by them now after you propitiate them. Apradayah, without offering to others, one who is bhunkte, he is enjoying for himself. That person is indeed a thief. Who is a thief? So bounties are you given and then you are not sharing. and you just, so throw light upon it. This was how, what is the definition of a thief? What Gita Home Study says. Ria.
So basically herein it says that if we do not if we do not disturb the order, do not disturb the dharma, which is to give and take. If someone is giving you something, it is your duty to, if you're taking something, so it is your duty to give as well. So if we do not disturb this order, this dharma, and if you are taking all the blessing of the cosmic forces, all the blessing of Ishvara, all the blessing of all the five elements, and if you are not giving them back, giving them back is in the sense of, in the sense of prayer. If you are not appreciating this order of Ishvara, if you're not recognizing them, if you're not offering the prayer, then you are a thief. You are just taking, you are just taking the blessings and you're not giving anything in back. So this is what is meant by thief here. So it is your duty that if you're taking so many blessings from all the deities and all the cosmic forces, so it is your responsibility to recognize and appreciate them as well, and give something in return. And give something in return basically in terms of like propitiating them, offering them, and recognizing the fact that whatever they are giving to us.
Yeah. Who else? Rajiv?
Sanji, Riya said it all, Sanji.
Oh.
It's basically, it's about a person who just takes, and never gives back. Not even any gratitude towards all the bounties that you get. It's basically, Bhagavan says that whatever you receive, you must at least give back by propitiating the devas. Have that sense of gratitude towards each cosmic force, or even within the society or manifested world. Have that. If you don't have that gratitude, you are like a thief who just takes away and never pays back, or never even thanks anyone. You just keep taking it.
Rohini, are you ready to speak? You are mute. You have to learn how to unmute yourself. Okay, you have not learned how to unmute yourself. I don't know what you are saying. Okay. Who else? Sharda?
I think Ria mentioned it all, because as long as you are getting the bounties of all these elements, you're getting it in terms of, whether it's the rain, it's the earth, it's the sun, you are receiving so many bounties from them. And if you are not able to propitiate them, because that's the only way you can return what you are getting from them, then you're like a thief, because you're not paying for what you're taking. When you take away something which, without expressing or making a certain payment for it. So the payment here is in the form of gratitude, in the form of propitiating them, in the form of recognizing their importance. And so basically, that's all that this says.
Sanjay, I just have this idea that possibly Bhagavan is trying to say that a karmi is a thief. But while a karmi yogi,
when not when done with the yoga attitude,
yeah.
yoga, that sharing is the must, you are taking, you are not recognizing everything. You want free lunches, everything should be free in your plate. That's what it is. Free lunches. Everything has a cost. Whatever you get, you recognize. You have to be grateful to the sun god, to the air you are breathing. That recognition that to the dick, everything is all the subject object duality in which this jiva is operating. All these forces are definitely, without those forces, you cannot live. Then,
And Sanjay, I'll say the same thing about receiving jnanam from a guru also.
so that she again is there, but that person has to understand. So the best way to give the guru is to be really first. Guru will always say that you become the best. student, so that you study very best. At the same time, we have to give our dakshinas in the sense that Guru will you make use of that dakshina in the best possible way. So like our teachers in the Taittiriya Upanishad, once you will study, there you will say that you have to go and give to the dakshina. The stories will come, and therefore student goes to the kings and they will make them happy, and they said, I have to give dakshina to my guru, and then he will take whatever and then he goes back and gives to the guru. It is not that guru will become rich or something. He has to again further give it back to his teachers or to wherever he has learned, because that is the whole balancing of the Srishti. Whatever he has to do with that, because otherwise what, it is not something, it is, why is asking you dakshina? It is only to make you give and take. It is to make you acknowledge and see that nothing is learned in just like that. You cannot learn, because that kind of a service mind you have to have. That is the whole attitude. That is the whole idea why the gurus. My teachers, Chinmayananda, I saw. I was with Chinmayanand for a long time. He passed away only in 1993. They used to do yajnas. Swami Chinmayananda started the concept of Jnana Yajna. And he used to openly ask for dakshinas. In the yajna of thousands and crores of people, thousands of people sitting in front, whether it is Madras, whether it is Bombay, that time it was called Madras. And they will distribute, he used to distribute an envelope, Guru Dakshina envelope. Why? They used to say, this is what you have supposed to do. Guru Dakshina. Why I am telling you this? It is not asking for money. People think, oh, what money they will do with money. It is only to make them recognize that you have to earn that vidya you have gained. You have to be grateful to, and therefore you give back. It is a give and take. And that give and take, that dakshina will only make you grow, because your recognition, your acknowledgement. That is why nothing comes like that. That is what the idea is. So Rishi Yajna is there. Definitely that Yajna is there. And therefore we people, Swamiji used to say, we never. I used to first, myself as a young guy, when I was going to these Yajnas in Chimaya Mission, Swamiji used to come to Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, I saw them. They used to say they're openly asking for money. That was my thought. But later on, I realized that what it is all about. It is not like that. It is not, you can ask. And he was openly asking. Then sometime I was perplexed for many years until I studied properly. Until I studied properly, I was perplexed how these people are asking openly money. It's not money. It is dakshina. Dan is different. Dakshina is different. That is why we say dakshina. And dakshina, you say, okay, whatever you give. But today that idea of dakshina is gone. So we have to tell, okay, you should give according to your pocket. That much. So even Manusmriti says 10% of your income you must give away as a charity. That is what the charity is all about. So that is why the recognition. This is because of this. Otherwise, you will be termed as a thief. You are taking and not giving. That's all what these verses say. Yajna Shishtashinas Santah Muchyant. Yajna Shishtashinas Santah Muchyante Sarva Kilbishaihi Bhunjate Te Tvagam Papaha Ye Pachanti Atma Karanat. So they are, first line is one type of people, second type is another type of people. So Yajna Shishta Sinaha. Yajna Shishta Ashinaha. Ashina means the eaters of that which is remaining out of Yajna. Yajna Shishta Ashinaha Santaha. So those who are having first offered the food to the Lord and then they are eating. Because once you offer the food to the Lord, it has become prasada, yagya shishta. Yagya shishta means that which is remaining. Once you have already offered, pranasa, panasa, all that ritual you do, that is why these rituals are very important. Itself, by doing this ritual, let us become prasada. You have already offered the food to Bhagavan. Or whatever you have offered to, whosoever you have offered to, in Panchayagya, Manushayagya, Bhutyagya, Pitrayagya, Devyagya, Rishiyagya. Then it becomes Yagya Shishta. And then when you eat that food, then Muchyante Sarva Kilbishayi. Then it will release you, Muchyante. It will release you from all your Kilbisha. Kilbisha means what? Impurities. All the negative things it will release you from. The negativities of the mind, impurities of the mind, agitations of the mind. And next line says, Bhunjate te tvagam papaha ye pachanti atma karanat. Ye atma karanat pachanti. Those who are only eating for themselves. Atma karanat means, Atma means not Atma here, Paramatma. Atma means yourself. Atma karanat, only for oneself. Te tu agam papaha bhunjate. Two words are used. Agam, papaha. To papaha, sinners, they are the sinners. Ye papaha, papaha, agam, two words are there. So papaha stands for the sinners. Ye papaha, te tu agam bhunjate. They are eating really the sin. Papa is a word which cannot be translated. Swamiji says very clearly. Punya is a word that cannot be translated. So that is why I keep saying, share, 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 share. And those who don't share themselves, they are not giving their earning and not sharing. That is what this verse is trying to tell you. Otherwise, you are eating only papa. You are bhunjate te agam papa. These verses, Gita, you have to understand where Gita is coming from. You don't realize what it is all about. Because our whole idea is me, me and my family. This is all what my identity today is. How will I grow out of this identity, that recognition with Ishwarizing everything, with recognition of Ishvara working in all these forces? That will come through your action. When action of service, when action of being in relation to those forces and those recognizes those forces as Ishvara, then only you will grow, na? Otherwise, you are just making everything for yourself. And that is Papa. Papa and Punya words are bad action and good action, Punya. And then bad action, the one who are doing are Papa, Punya. Punyatma, Papatma. Papa here means for people. People who are committing sin. And what they are eating is Papa. Bhunjate. They are eating sin only. Because that is not shared. That food is not shared. That money is not shared. That bounties are not shared. Just imagine when you share and you live. And when you even not sharing means not just giving, even acknowledging with gratitude whatever, to the sun god, to the moon god, to the cosmic forces, to the teachers, to the elders, to the manushas, to the pitras, to the devas, all that. And nothing wrong, nothing much you have to do. It is not for too much of asking. It is something very simple. Anybody wants to say? 3 minutes are left. Oh, only 3 verses we were saying. No, only 3 minutes are left. 3 verses. Yes, anybody? Yes, Rajiv. Final words.
Swamiji, by saying this, that Bhagwan differentiates again Karma yogis from Mahakarmis, because Karma yoga is a kind of a yajna. There's a recognition of cosmic forces, there's a recognition of Devta and Ishvara, and there's a propitiation involved in it. So when there is a propitiation involved, there's a sharing also. So the person who is a Karma yogi is the one who is not creating papa and punya, because he understands that his position in life and the actions he is doing, they are all not a random act, but it's a grace of God. He has been, or she has been placed in a situation because of Ishvara, and everything that is Ishvara, and everything that is done is for Ishvara, because there is no one else. This is the greatest devotion to Ishvara. And one who is not doing it, not propitiating devas, or does not recognize cosmic forces and the way they act, he is the one who is under the effect of raga and dvesha, and thereby indulges in kama without caring for dharma or the cosmic forces, the order. So he is the one who creates papa and punya for himself, and this is the essential difference between the two category of people.
Yeah.
These are basically, I'll
Yeah.
say, gratitude and harmony and devotion for a karma yogi, and no such idea, even if you have ethical living, but no such recognition from a karmi point of view.
Sharada?
I think Dr. Rajiv said it all. Yakya Shishtashinā basically are those who are offering their food or whatever they are.
And then they are eating.
And then they take. And then the other.
Yagyashishta is whatever is remaining after the offering, that you are
After
eating.
offering, the left, whatever is left is.
Leftover from the offering. As soon as you offer, that has become prasada. It's such a big thing and such a simple ritual. We are not able to do it.
And Swamiji, it can also be taken as Ishwar Prasada Buddhi also, no Swamiji?
Ishwar
If you
prasada, bhai, everything you will do mentally, na. Therefore, gratitude, how will you show? Don't be everything. You have to, even when you love somebody, you have to show it. You can simply say, I love you. Doesn't mean big thing. You say it. It's not a small thing. You have to express it. कर्मा में होना चाहिए वो मेंटल एटीट्यूड से करके ही तो कहते हैं कि हम वी आर वेरी एथिकल वी आर लिविंग अ वेरी एथिकल लाइफ देयर इज नो ईश्वरा वी आर सेक्युलर व्हाट इज दिस सेक्युलरिज्म you have to recognize Ishvara as karma phala data. That recognition, how will you do it? Through your activity. Prayer, karma, kaikam karma, vachikam karma, manasikam karma, all 3 layers of puja. That is why you can wish mentally your wife, mentally only you wish happy birthday. Next day you will not get food, you know that? You
I
will
know
not get,
that, Swamiji.
you know it very well. Rajni is listening or not? Your birthday is coming next month, exactly 16th February. So your birthday is coming, she will do so many things. So you can just say wish mentally, fine. Happy birthday. What does it mean? You write a card, you bring a gift, you say it verbally.
कुछ भी नहीं करता.
हाँ, तो कुछ भी नहीं करता तो फिर कैसे ऐसे होगा? Acknowledge हम तो secular हैं.
You want to say japa, chant, and meditation,
Everything you have to
sadhana,
do, everything. Yes,
sadhana,
sadhana.
prayer, everything has to be done alongside.
Everything has to be done. काम ना छोड़ा, खुद ना छोड़ा, नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया?
There's a nice bit here where Swamiji says that we have to view these elements as Chetana, Vastu, or Jada. And we have to shift our perception to that of a dreamer. If you can believe that when you are in your dream state, your entire existence world is that dream, and you, the dream, the dreamer, all are one, then you also realize that the maker and the nimitta karana and the upadana karana are also basically one. So the dreamer becomes everything. So nothing in this world is actually inert or non-living. Everything is there's an energy, there's a mutual interaction going on with everything. So cosmic forces also similarly are non-separate from Ishvara, and they also continue to uh, they are also Chetana Vastus basically.
Right. So we end the class here. Anybody wants to say anything? Then we end the class. It's already over time. 3 minutes over.
40.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Mritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Thank you all.
Hari Om Swamiji. Thank you.
Hare